If we take one example related to fraction, right? So now what are the total number of rows and columns here? Total 10 rows and a 10 column, right? What are the total number of boxes? 100, right? If we take one example, if we shade the first part, only a one box here. What is the fraction of this box? 1 upon 100 of shaded part, right? So students, we also write this 1 upon 100 in its simplest form, right? But when we write the simplest form of this type of fraction, we take a help of a decimal, right? So we write this fraction when we divide this one by 100. So we take a help of a decimal, right? How we divide this number? So 1 divided by 100. Because 1 is smaller as compared to 100. So we put decimal here and increase 1 0. Now this 10 is smaller as compared to 100. Now we increase 1 0 here and 1 0 here. Now after that 100, how many times 100 divisible by 100? One time, right? So if we write 100 here, 100 ones 100 and we get 0 as a remainder. So now here we say that 1 upon 100 is also written as 0.01 in decimal. So we say that this part having 0.01 value here, right? So we also say that each part having 0.01 value, right? It means 1 upon 100 is equal to 0.01. Now students, we discuss in chapter number 8, and chapter number 8, the name of this chapter is decimals. And dear students, you also try this activity in your home also. What you do here, you make these 10 by 10 this table here, 10 rows and a 10 column, total 100 boxes, and shade different boxes here after these all 100 boxes, right? And here we take one example, like here we set this box, the next box here, so what are the total number of shaded boxes here? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And what is the fraction of this shaded part? 8 upon 100. So now we write this fraction in its decimal form. So when we divide this 8 by 100, we get, so here we increase 0, so here we put decimal here. Now increase 1 0, then increase 0 here, then 100 8s are 800, right? 100 8s are 800. So if we say that 8 upon 100 is equal to 0.08. Now students, we also use another method. Okay, you also take different boxes, right? Randomly color these boxes and find what are the total number of boxes out of these total 100 boxes, and you write the fraction of shaded part. Now what we do here, because students you all know that if there is no decimal mentioned with a number, it means the decimal place is the last end of the number, right? Here, right? Like let me take one example here. If you write 17, so with the decimal place, last end of the number. If you write 18, the decimal place is last end of the number. Now take me another example here, like 213. Where is the decimal place? Last end of the number. Okay. Now after that, decimal place is last end of the number, and what are the total number of zeros? There is only one number, right? And we jump 2 places left hand side. So here we increase 2 zeros. Now what are the total number of zeros? 2. So here we jump this decimal 2 places left hand side. 1 2. So here we get 0.08, and we get the same answer when we divide 8 by 100. So students, you all paste this activity in front page of this chapter, right, in your fair notebook. So now we will discuss chapter number 8, decimals. Now here first we will discuss tenths. Okay, so now here we take total 10 boxes here. 10 boxes. Out of 10 boxes, here we shed only one part, right? What is the fraction of this shaded part? 1 upon 10. So where is the decimal in this one? Last end of the number. And what are the total number of zeros? 1, right? So here we jump one place left hand side, right? So here we get 0.1. So we say that each box having 0.1 value, right? Each box having 0.1 value. And students, we already discussed hundreds here, right? Okay, so out of these 100 boxes, here we take, let me take one example. Here we take total 9 part, right? 9 or a 14 part, 14 upon 100. So how we put and how we find? So here we read out this number as 14 hundredths. Like 1 upon 10 mean 1/10. So here we read out this one box as a 1/10, and here we read out this fraction 14 upon 100 mean 14 hundredths. Okay, so now how we put decimal in this fraction? So where is the decimal place? Last end of the number. And what are the total number of zeros? 2. So this decimal jump 2 places left hand side. 1, 2. So here we get 0.14, right? If we divide this 14 by 100, so we get the same answer and the same value, 0.14. Okay students, now we will discuss place value in decimal number. Now place values in decimals. Now place values in decimals. So here we take one example here, like 999.999. So this part is known as whole number part, and in short here we write whole part, and this point is known as decimal point, and this part is known as decimal part. Okay, now in whole part we write the places like ones, tens, 100, 1000, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakh. Now here we write ones place, then we write tens place, then hundreds. Okay, now in decimal part we read out numbers like tens, hundreds and thousands. Tens mean 1 upon 10, hundreds 1 upon 100, and thousands 1 upon 1000. Okay, so before decimal is a whole part, and we read out this part as a ones, tens, 100,000 places, right? And after decimal we write the decimal part like tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay, it means what is the place value of this 9? 9 upon 10 mean 9/10, and we write this 9 in decimal form 0.9. And what is the place of this 9? This is the place value of this 9, 9 upon 100, right? And we write in a decimal form 0.09, the place value of this 9. What is the place of value of this last 9 here? 9 upon 1000. So if we write the place value in decimal 0.009. Okay, now we solve some questions related to decimals. Now students, here we solve the first question from exercise number 8.1. Write the following as numbers in the given table. So here first we count tens. What are the total number of tens here? 1, 2, 3. So here we write in a tens place 3, right? 3 in a tens place. What are the total number of ones? 1. So we write 1 here. And what are the total number of tenths? Total 2 tenths here. So here we write 2. Okay. If we write in a decimal number, so here we write 31.2. Now the B part of this question. What are the total number of hundreds? 1. So here we write 1 here. What are the total number of tens? 1. So here we write 1 here. What are the total number of tens here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Total 4. So if we write 4 here and we fill this one place as a 0. And if we write this number in decimal form, so here we write 110.4. Now students, you will solve this question and you will copy down this question in your fair notebook. Now students, after that here we solve question number 2. Question is, write the following decimals in the place value table. And in your book, page number 168, the question number 2 is given here, right? And the A part of this question is 19.4, B part is 0.3, C part is 10.6, and the D part is 205.9. So now here we write numbers, the given numbers here. Now here we write hundreds, tens, ones, and tenths. Now we write numbers according to their places. What is the place of this 4? Right? After decimal, here we read out these places like tens, hundreds, thousands, right? So what is the place of this 4? Tens. So here we write 4 here. Now before decimal, this is the whole part, right? And we read out places in a whole part as a ones, tens, 100,000, right? So what is the place of this 9? Ones. So we write 9 here. What is the place of this 1? 10. So we write 1 here, right? Now what is the place of this 0? In a ones place, so we write 0 here. What is the place of this 3 after decimal? Tens. So we write 3 here. Now what is the place of this 6? Right? In a tens place, 6. What is the place of this 0? Ones. What is the place of this 1? Tens place. Now what is the place of this 9? After decimal. So here we read out these places like tens, hundred, thousands, right? So we write 9 here in a tens place. What is the place of this 5? Ones. So we write 5 here. What is the place of this 0? Tens. So we write 0 here. What is the place of this 2? In a hundred place, right? So we write 2 here. Because ones, tens, 100, 1000, 10,000 in a whole part, right? So now you will solve this question in your fair notebook, okay? Now after that, here we solve question number 3. And the question is, write each of the following as decimals. So how we write 7 tenths? It means 7 in a tens place. So we write 7 upon 10, right? As a fraction. And the question is, write this number as decimals. So how we write this 7 upon 10 in a decimal form? So dear students, you all know that where is the decimal place of 7? Last end of the number, because there is no decimal mentioned with the number. And what are the total number of zeros? 1. So here this decimal jump one place left hand side. So here we put 1 0 here and decimal jump one place here. So here we get 0.7. So here we write 0.7 here. And if we divide this 7 by 10, here we get the same answer, right? So if we divide this number here, 7 divided by 10. So here we put decimal here and increase 1 0. After that 10 sevens are 70. 70 minus 70, 0. So here we get 0.7, 0.7. Now 102 ones. It means what is the place of this one? 100, right? So we write 100. 102 ones. I mean 2 multiplied by 1. So here we write 100 plus 2 ones are 2. After that we add these two numbers, we get 102. And dear students, you all know that if there is no decimal mentioned with the number, it means where the decimal place, last end of the number. So if we write 102.0. Now students, other left part, you solve by yourself B, C and a E part of this question. You solve by yourself. This is homework for you. Now we solve the next question here. Now here we solve the fourth question here. Write each of the following as decimals. Now we solve the first part, A part of this question, 5 upon 10. So what is the decimal form of this 5 upon 10? So basically there are two methods. First we divide 5 by 10 and we take a help of decimal method, right? So where is the decimal place in this 5 upon 10 of this 5? Last end of the number. And what are the total number of zeros? 1, right? So here decimal jump one place left hand side. So here we increase 1 0 here. Now decimal jump one place left hand side. So here we get 0.5, right? 0.5. If we divide this 5 by 10, so here we get the same answer, 0.5. Now we solve the C part of this question, right? Now first we add these all three numbers, 200 plus 60 plus 5. 200 plus 60, 260 and 260 plus 5, 265, right? And what is the decimal form of this 1 upon 10? So decimal place is last end of the number, and this because there is only 1 0 in denominator, right? So decimal jump one place left hand side and we get 0.1. Now how we add these two number here? So in decimal, because there is no decimal mentioned with this number, it means where is the decimal place? Last end of the number. Okay, after that we put decimal under the decimal. What is the decimal here? 0.1. And what is the number before decimal? 0. After decimal 1. After that we add these both number, right? 0 plus 1 1, 5 plus 0 5, here we write 6 and here we get 265.1. Now we solve G part of this question, and the question is 3 upon 2. So basically there are two methods. Here we divide this 3 by 2, and there is another method where we change denominator in the multiple of 10. So when we get 10 in a denominator, when we multiply this 2 by 5, if we multiply this 2 by 5, then we get 5 2s are 10 or 2 5s are 10, right? So we also multiply numerator by 5. So here we get 3 5s are 15 and 2 5s are 10. And dear students, you all know that because here is no decimal mentioned with the number, so where is the decimal place? Last end of the number. And what are the total number of zeros? 1. So decimal shift one place left hand side. So here we get 1.5. And if we divide this 3 by 2, here we get the same answer, right? So now we divide this 3 by 2 and we check our answer, it is correct or not, right? Basically here we get the same answer. Now first we divide this 3 by 2, so 2 1s are 2 and here we get 1. Now we put decimal here and increase 1 0 and we take 1 0 here, and 2 5s are 10. Okay, so here we get the same answer, 1.5 in the both cases. So now students, you solve other left part by yourself, right? The other left part mean B, D, E, F, H, I, J and a K part of this question. You will solve by yourself. This is homework for you. Now students, after that here we solve question number 5. Write the following decimals as fractions and reduce the fractions to lowest form. So now 0.6, right? 0.6 is here, and what is the place of this 6? Tens. So here we write 6 upon 10, right? 6 upon 10. Now according, here we write this number in its fraction form by using places here, and there is another method also. Here we take a multiple of 10 and we put zeros according to total digits after decimal. So what are the total number of digits here after decimal? 1, right? So we put 1 0 here and we write 6 here. Okay, so now, and according to their place values and the places, here we, what is the place of the 6? 6 in a tens place, so we write 6 upon 10, right? After that here we reduce this fraction in its simplest form or a lowest form. So here we divide this fraction by 2. 2 3s are 6 and 2 5s are 10, and here we write 3 upon 5. So in C part there is 1, right? So we write 1 as it is here. And if we remove this, if we follow the same method here, so if we remove this decimal from here, so here we write 10 upon 10, and 10 ones are 10, 10 ones are 10, and here we get 1. And dear students, because you all know that after decimal there is no value of a 0, so we write 1 as it is here also. Okay, so now students, you will solve the other part from question number 5 by yourself. This is homework for you. Now students, after that here we solve question number 6. Express the following as centimeter using decimal. Right? So there is 2 millimeter. Here we convert this 2 millimeter into centimeter. Okay. So I hope you all know that how many centimeters in a 1 millimeter. So here we write 1 millimeter equal to 1 upon 10 centimeter. So here simply we divide this 2 by 10 and we get our answer in centimeter. So now we say that because here we find our answer in a decimal. So where is the decimal place in this 2? Last end of the number, and there is only 1 0 here. So this decimal shift 1 place left hand side. So here we get 0.2 centimeter. Now we solve the another part of this question, D part. 4 centimeter and 2 millimeter. So because this 4 is already in centimeter, right? So here we convert only this 2 millimeter into centimeter. So we write 2 upon 10 centimeter. So here we write 4 centimeter plus decimal place is last end of the number, and what are the total number of zeros? 1. So decimal shift 1 place left hand side. So we write 0.2 centimeter. After that, you all know that how we add decimal number. So because there is no decimal mentioned with 4, so the decimal is last end of the number, and here we put decimal under the decimal. So what is the number before decimal? 0. After decimal, 2. Now when we add these both number, we get 2 here, 4 here, and total 4.2 centimeter. Now you will solve other part of this question, question number 6, by yourself.